Everyone, welcome back to the next segment of Friday Night Ops, episode 73. I'm going to be joined by the wonderful, the one and only Blood Wolves, aka the Dire Wolves. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good.
Very well.
Excellent.
Waiting so patiently, and we even got Thunderblade into like a random other segment now. How nice!
Oh, it's fantastic.
Are you pretty excited about it?
Oh, that's putting it a bit mildly.
Alright, so I want to give everyone like just a quick vocal recognition. So each of you guys kind of introduce yourselves, tell people who you are in the outfit, so that people that are watching back at home can kind of figure out which voice goes to which name. So go ahead and go through that really quick.
Top to bottom.
Yeah, let's just start from top.
We're starting at the top again. Yes, I'm Ben Sven. I'm an officer in Dire, and I think my role at the moment is just to be a bit of a voice of reason.
A voice of reason. You need one of you need kind of one of those people. Those voice of reason people. What about you, Captain Thirsty?
That's good.
Yeah, that's me. Going kind of thirsty. I'm currently Dire's leader.
Supreme Master Leader.
The Supreme Leader.
Supreme Leader.
I'm Carter, also an officer in Dire. I kind of just float around and dabble in everything, I guess.
I'm Thunderblade, the newest lieutenant in Dire, and they don't trust me enough to give me a specific job.
That was a good introduction.
TeamSpeak.
I'm Vantis, I'm the main recruitment officer for Dire.
I'm Pierre Trey. I'm an assistant recruitment officer and also in charge of outfit relations.
Great. So now that you guys have all gotten to know who they are, I'm going to start beginning to play some footage from when I was recording with them. It's going to start off kind of silly because they were having quite a bit of fun over here. Let's see. We will hop to the scene right there. There we go.
We'll pull you into the channel when,
And let's tell the internet who is the Dire Wolves, aka Blood Wolves. Who are you guys? What's your history?
Alright,
Where
well,
we from first?
we originally split off of another outfit about a year plus ago called Drop. And we kind of just wanted to be a very, very tight-knit, competitive outfit on the server and on the NC, and I like to think that we achieved that.
Yeah, seems like a good, concise way to put it. From what I got to see from these guys, and you're looking at this right now on the scene, is that they would be really quick about getting a group of galaxies together, or however many people they had to fit in a galaxy, and just get in there, redeploy, get to the destination, take care of the destination, redeploy again, get back in their galaxies, and that kind of seemed like their main transportation throughout the night for majority of it. And is that kind of like the way that you guys roll, is galaxy drops?
I guess that's sort of our meta, yeah. We always
I'd
use
say so.
girls.
I will argue we have polluted ourselves and our purity in more recent times, stretching out to godly things like Sunderers, but
Dirty
Gals where
Sundays.
it's at.
Yeah.
Gauss is always where it's at.
Senator-
We definitely pride ourselves on our quick redeploys and how quickly we can move around the map. We find the galaxy's usually the best method for that.
And you do have a little bit of support with sometimes some liberators or reavers that kind of help you guys out.
Yeah, on occasion we'll have like a separate small air squad that will sort of support our ground troops.
Yeah, what you're seeing right now actually is the point where Carter and Vantis here decided to be particularly masochistic and try and Arexium the Duster before it got buffed. And so they were very much in a liberator a lot at that point in time.
Yeah, you did have quite a few, like a little group of people who were in liberators for big portions of the night. I did try to cut up some footage so that you guys got to see every aspect. They do have all their infantry down there, and the infantry weren't just like hiding in the buildings. They're out on the catwalks. They're helping out with the air that's coming in here. Obviously this was a slow start. It was when we first hopped in the game and we were kind of setting things up, getting voice all situated and whatnot. And this is it starts out a little bit slow, but it gets a little bit more intense as we move forward, and I think as people realize that you're getting recorded.
Yeah, they definitely picked up on it throughout the night, and it got a little bit more intense throughout.
For sure, especially on the second part.
And if you guys have questions for them, please feel free to add it in chat, as this is your opportunity to scout out the enemy. Or maybe if you're looking for an outfit and you are NC, or you prefer to play NC and you're willing to play on the Briggs server, and you're interested in an outfit, these guys are recruiting, correct?
Yep, we're pretty selective with our recruiting. We like to make sure that members who join will mesh with the community that's already here. Like, we don't have a specific, battle rank or requirement or any of that, but we do like to make sure that you fit in with the group of guys already here.
I think gelling with the community is the most important thing with Dire.
Definitely.
Yeah, but being able to gel with the team can make that's what makes our gameplay so strong, I guess.
It's the very backbone of Dire, the cohesion that we share.
For sure.
Alright, so what's the process? If someone were to want to join you guys, what would be step 1 to the end?
Alright, so they go to our website, thebobbles.com. They'd go to the forums and they'll create an application. From there, I'd get them on TeamSpeak and I'd just discuss with them the sort of things they'd need to do with their application. We have a probationary tag for members, so they have 2 weeks to sort of prove themselves, I guess, and to sort of hash out how they gel with the community and how well they do in game with the squads. And after a 2-week period, we usually give them a decision whether they're accepted or declined. And yeah.
All right. So if you're interested, that's their process. Again, obviously, I just want to re-note that this was kind of a slow beginning here because there weren't a lot of enemies that were coming at them. It does kind of get a little bit more heated as the night progresses, but I know there's some people in chat going, GG, Ghost Cap! But, like, that was just the first location that they chose to kind of start off the night with. And things do get a little crazy. I believe there's a little skirmish here. They start bringing, the enemies start bringing in some armor, and you guys counter that with, quite a few infantry that start setting up on these rocks, clearing them out. You can already see some of their infantry trying to kill all these sunders that they're placing down. And you guys are using smoke, the leadership smoke, and maybe you might want to kind of talk about how you guys utilize the leadership tree.
So we usually when we rock up to a base, if there's time on the timer before it gets capped, we will get everyone out and identifying where the enemy spawn where the enemy are spawning from, and we'll say, oh, it's behind this building so and so, and then good old Cam Thirsty will say, oh, is it here? And he'll pop down the squad waypoint, and if it's this, then he'll pop down the smoke on it and move, and we'll kind of identify all the enemy spawn options, and then either drop lots of people on them or head on out with just good old foot zerg to get to them and take them out. So we use that smoke to identify where the enemy are spawning from.
We have some silly questions happening in chat. First one is a little bit more not silly, asking if the TeamSpeak is live. Yes, we are live. The TeamSpeak is live. The footage is pre-recorded from the Briggs night that I hopped in and got to watch their battles. But yeah, if you have any questions for these guys, feel free to toss them in chat, and that's what they're here for, to answer your questions and let you guys know who they are and what they're about. One of the questions is from Hugbox Hero, and they're curious, what do they eat in Australia? So I don't know if you want to break the ice with that
Food.
one.
No, I think we get Thunderblade to answer this one.
Oh, okay, look. It really
Thunderblade eats rabbits that he caught, so that's a bit different.
Okay, look, rabbits, roo, boar, whatever you can get.
Yeah,
Sometimes if I want to lash out, I'll go out the backyard, bare hand, dig up a few grubs. They're all good for cholesterol, great for the diet. I cannot recommend. But no, to answer your question, we pretty much eat the same thing you do. Probably a little bit more steak and veg.
With the exception of Thunderblade, who wrestles his kangaroos to the ground.
Who does?
He wrestles kangaroos. Oh my goodness.
Mostly crocodiles. Kangaroos are a little bit too easy.
He's actually not joking. I think it's the only native animal you can actually eat across the globe. So yeah.
Can you eat crocodile?
Can you? But it's not a native creature, so.
If you want me to elaborate on that, they do have an open season for about 6 months a year in Queensland and Northern Territory, which you can actively hunt crocodiles, but there is a catch and bag limit.
Interesting.
The more you know.
The more you know. There you go.
I mean, I never I don't think I ever really want to hunt a crocodile. If I see one, I will look at it and be like, that's nice. You stay there. I'll not be near you.
You just actually saw on the screen there one of the tactics we're known for. We just dropped on that Sunday with a whole bunch of heavies and rocket launchers and blew it up.
Yeah. Those are always fun. Back in the old school PlanetSide days, we used to do that with biffer hunting. We would just like go hunting for BFRs and just drop out of our vehicles and kill them. It was always fun. So there was a good question in here from, I think Not Knifey, was wondering if you could poach any players from another outfit, who would it be?
There's this guy called Knife.
I think we'll inflate Knifey.
Yeah, there's this guy called
Say
Knifey.
Knifey, definitely.
You know, truthfully, if I was going to poach any player, it would definitely be one of the Jugger players, because
Dreamweb, please.
they're more in line with the way we roll compared to some other really good outfits on the server.
Truthfully, we've already poached everyone.
Yeah.
You think you've poached everyone you want?
Probably Dreamweb from AG7 or Exocet from Jugger, truthfully.
Maybe
Oh.
Ultra Killix. Ultra Killix is pretty good.
Ultra
Killix
Killix is good.
Yep.
Those
I think we'll
good
leave it
ones.
there.
Well,
Yeah, we'll leave it there.
We'll leave it there. Alright.
Yeah.
You know, that works. So we have Manual Reptile, who, speaking of crocodiles, wants to know, do you split up the platoon if a base is offering no resistance?
Absolutely.
Well, that really depends on the base, to be honest. If it's with the current redeploy meta, often we'll send like 1 or 2 squads and we won't get any resistance for the first minute or so, and then suddenly we'll be outpopped and platoon bombed. So we'll have to usually have at least 2 squads on hand at a base to make it through the full cap, because of how quickly people redeploy. At least on Briggs, I'm not sure about other servers, but that's how it is here.
Yeah, just to add to that, this was quite a change of pace for us. We're not used to running 3 full squads. At this time, I think we're getting 2 on ops nights and 1 squad every other night. But yeah, like Thirsty was saying, we found that splitting up our squads wasn't working because of the way people could redeploy around the map. It got to a point where you would get to a minute within a cap, and all of a sudden a platoon would spawn in the spawn room, and the point was lost. So we found the best thing for us to do was to drop the most of our squad and just hold out and wait for that redeployment to come in and try and hold that off to actually get the cap.
Yeah, you guys did have a larger squad than or platoon, I should say, than you're used to. That's something that you did tell me. You're like, a lot of people showed up tonight because they wanted to be on Friday Night Ops. So that was kind of fun.
Yeah, I think at the time we were an outfit of, I think 54, and I think total we got 38 of our members online for this recording. So it was a good turnout, something we're not quite used to.
I'd like to actually answer one of the questions here. Cthulhu asks, you guys seem to crash your galaxies. Will the new resource model change that approach? Depends on how it works, but if it's anything like it is now, we actually can pull a galaxy at any time, anywhere, because we have, 12 members in each squad kind of deal. So we can, even if we crash 3 galaxies, we've still got many more. Most of our people are competent galaxy pilots.
Alright, I'll make sure to check that one off. I've been compiling all the questions because you guys have actually been asking some really great questions in chat. I like whenever the questions are really PlanetSide 2 oriented, help out the outfit, I like it. So there's a couple of them regarding the Valkyrie. One person's asking, I think it's Shadow of Steel is asking when it's coming out. I can't tell you all of the details on that stuff. But also, the Watcher has been asking, so how excited are you guys about the Valkyrie, and what do you hope in utilizing it? How do you figure that you'll be able to utilize it? And then Shadow Steel, on top of that, was wondering, what do you guys think about it?
Well, I suppose we can based on the speculations of how it'll work, I could say that personally, I'm looking forward to using it. It'd probably do some really good sort of close support for
I'm trying to
a lot
turn
of the gal stuff we do.
If you could speak up a little bit, because it's hard to hear you, Captain.
Drop the in-gab one. Please. Oh,
Yeah,
that one.
look, given the way that it's sort of, people are speculating how it's going to work and stuff, I think it would do really well with close support with our galaxies and how we use galaxies, so I'm pretty excited to get my hands on and start to use it in game.
What he's really saying is we don't actually know, but we're going to work it out.
Well, that's the thing though. It's at the moment, from what we know, it's very little. So, you know, what we can shoot out of the rumble seats, who we can put in the rumble seats is, you know, is all up to speculation at the moment. So, it's hard, but I mean, we're all pretty excited about it, and something new, something we can adapt to and add to our tactics list.
All right.
Oh, there's another Steed Sunday.
Do you guys have
I
it?
think that's where it'll we might use it a lot more as well. Is our drops on the Sundays that you're seeing on the screen. You know, using it for that and maybe dropping a couple of engineers with tank mines or light assaults with C4 instead of dropping 12 heavies with rocket launchers. It just gives us another option while still letting our infantry be on the ground and taking point or fighting off the force.
Charlie reporting lots of air.
Isamir Snow and Rocky Tundra camo are our outfit camos, just FYI. We know that Indar is not a snow continent.
Yeah, Flavin just asked that question. He's like, "Are you aware that Indar is not a snowy continent?" And
That's the idea.
if you guys were if you guys were watching last episode 72, a bunch of your crew were actually playing with us, and we were talking about that on that episode too. And you know, it was pretty funny. I don't know if Mubat will marry you, Thunderblade. I don't know.
I thought it was worth an ask.
So our next question here is from Kingori, and they're asking, when will PlanetSide 2 be on PS4? I can't give you a date, but they're definitely working very, very hard on making that happen as fast as they possibly can. I think having, you know, the huge group of people who play FPS games on PS4 play PlanetSide 2, it's just going to be a game like they've never played before, and it's going to be intense and hopefully grow the community in only better ways. So we have Kingdom Key Oath wants to know, how much coffee do you drink, Thunder? And I have no idea what's that all about.
I did say in the chat, it is roughly 4 to 5 liters per hour, but it can increase.
Are you for real? You drink that much coffee?
Can you boil per hour?
No, I'm not.
I think in the 2 hours this morning that we've been in this TS, I think
Coffee's
he's
been
gone
a
and
big
made
deal.
about 4 or 5 cups.
Why do you drink so much coffee?
Oh,
The idiot probably didn't go to sleep, that's why.
Is it decaf or is it, this is full on?
It's real coffee. It's real coffee, I promise.
Man, that's intense. That's a lot of coffee. My heart would be like
No,
racing
it's-
if I drank that much.
No, it's your body get used to it. It's like any other drug, I suppose.
It's like any other drug. We do not condone.
Kids don't do drugs.
Yeah, don't do drugs, kids. Okay. Oh goodness. Let's move on to the next question. GXPO, what is their outfit name? It is in the title 2. They are Dire PS2, aka the Blood Wolves. And Kingario 99 wants to know, or King Oreo. Wow. Read them separate words. King Oreo 99 wants to know, how intense is this game? I mean, from your guys' perspective, when you're playing with a core group of people and you're trying to go up against like another huge group of enemies, how intense do you feel like it gets?
So it's compared to any other game that I've played, it's so intense. I mean, I've put at least 2 months worth of playtime into this game, and I can easily say, compared to all the games that I've played before, some of the fights, some of the really intense fights, especially when you're under pod, it is like nothing I've experienced before. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, no game does it better.
I'm going to
One
move
of the big
forward
things-
into the battle too, so that you guys get to see some of the later stuff as well.
Yeah. One of the big things I like about this game is, despite the fact that everyone moans about, being bombed from a Liberator or whatever, it does add a certain kind of, all of this, what's the word? combined operations stuff gives kind of a more like a danger that you don't get when you're playing your average FPS with no tanks and no aircraft bombing you. You've got to kind of figure these things out. It adds a whole new aspect to the game that's really good for infantry players. I think the game would be a lot less healthy if we weren't being bombed by liberators all the time.
Well, liberators have their own thing. I mean, not having liberators in the game is there's definitely a difference between that. I mean, every time you add a new vehicle, there's always a little bit. Oh yeah, and this is something that you guys were doing.
Galaxy.
You took everybody, you put them on top of this mountain. Can't remember what happens here.
Oh, this is the Jugger thing.
Yeah.
Ah, the Jugger thing.
What was this? Oh, this was okay. Yeah. Okay, so it wasn't that we were putting people on the mountain. That wasn't the idea.
Oh, you're trying to bring them back. That's right. Right?
Yeah, what happened was
we had an air squad come after us as we left the warp gate. We got bombarded by a Jugger air squad.
And so what we were doing is, after that happened, we were a bit wary about more air in the area, so we kind of were like mountain hopping with AA on our way up to the next base.
Yeah. The original idea was we were moving out with a whole bunch of Falcon Maxes and Raven Maxes in our gals to take out a large TR armor column. And as we're moving out of the warp gate, we get ambushed by the Jugger dudes. And so some of us managed to pull back. I think most of our Maxes survived. Got picked up by new galaxies.
Oh, and here it is. This is where the anti-air
I think this is where I get smashed. Thanks, Jugger. Love you guys.
Let's just pick up our max.
I think this is after because we're dropping them on the hills.
Yeah, because
there
was an initial
yes,
initial engagement, and then you guys came back, and because they didn't end up doing what you thought they were gonna do, because you guys were hoping to bring them back into the guys, then you started doing this cool air fight, and I was like, oh, I'm so glad I got this on cam, because I don't get to do a lot of air combat fights. I don't get to videotape a lot of those, so it's.
You'll see a lot of that on Briggs when one outfit or another gets absolutely sick of XYZ fly fit, shooting them a lot from the air, and then suddenly you'll get, 34 or plus Reavers in the air.
So that question earlier when you were asking about intensity, there you go, when you're just seeing like everything just all over the place, all of these different tracers.
Wow.
Yeah,
right.
Look at that. I mean, it's crazy. No other game does the scale like PlanetSide 2.
Yeah,
that's why it's like such a great game.
Justin was having trouble not wanting to play. He was still playing towards the end when I'm like, all right, we're gonna do like the you plug all this stuff, and he's just like still playing. He's like, I don't want to stop. It's okay, but yeah, I think that you just get in those big fights, and I just try to keep putting him in those big fights. It's like it's different when you have like a new player playing versus experienced players, because you guys are doing different strange tactics that like maybe not everyone would know what to do right off the bat, or how to organize that. Like if I told a bunch of random people, hey, come get into the squad, now we're gonna go do this, it might take a little while to organize that. Where your guys are pretty much trained, you're like, hey, get in the galaxy, everyone goes to the galaxy.
Yeah, definitely.
Here we go. Look at this armor melt.
Yeah.
A lot of our guys have a lot of experience, especially our leaders. They got countless 1,000+ hours into this game. But as a new player, the best advice I could give is join an outfit, and you'll learn so much so quickly.
You got it.
Another thing I think that is almost part of the kind of life cycle of a player in PlanetSide is you do end up running in the squads. You are that BR14 that's running in the squads, that all us kind of old players go, oh, that guy, these guys are all running in that Zerg and they're not doing the right thing. But in the end, like when I was that level, when I was new to the game, that was the reason that I came back initially, was the absolutely massive fights. If you saw just then, that fight was over the space of almost a kilometer in diameter. That fight, like, that was huge.
It's still going right now.
And even this on the top of the hill at where are we now? Crimson Block Tower.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was one of the better fights of the night. Actually, it was quite intense over this hill.
Yeah. There's quite a few more questions that are in chat. Keep bringing the questions in. Do try to keep them oriented around the Blood Wolves here and PlanetSide 2. but I will try to answer some of the other ones that you guys are throwing in between them. P. James is wondering, what makes this game different from others, and why should I play it? I think you guys kind of covered a lot of that already.
Scale.
Yeah, it's just
scale.
The scale and the amount of things that you can do.
The
versatility
versatility of the tools you're given as well is incredible because of the scale. There's also the opportunity for people to make to make outfits like ours that specialize in holding a room and taking out pinpoint objectives. And if you want to do that, there are very good outfits to do it. And then there's also those dudes who do the full big kind of army movements. Sitting on the map screen, there's 48 plus there. There's a lot of stuff you can do within PlanetSide. There are outfits that focus solely on flying, and then there are outfits that focus solely on getting the best stats and all that kind of thing. There's a lot to do in PlanetSide.
Yeah, PlanetSide definitely caters for a lot of different play styles, and I think that's what's great about it is, if you don't like to fight on the ground and you like to fly,
You can just
PlanetSide will
fly.
do that for you. Yeah. If you don't, if you want a tank, then pull a tank and do that. I mean, you're always going to be important to a fight, and your role is always important in the fight, in the battle. So, I mean, I think that's what's great. It's the scale and the fact that you can play the game how you want to play it. It doesn't get dictated by the gameplay or the style of game.
I saw a question earlier on asking, is one person able
Yeah.
to make a difference in a fight? And
I have that in the.
I would
the
say
queue, too.
that, depending on whether or not what you do, yes. If you're just going to run at the enemy and run around be another foot soldier, then you won't really make a difference doing that. But if you want to be, if you want to fight, if you want to kind of, if you want to put more into the fight than your average soldier, then you can do things like C4ing the enemy Sunday and wow, this fight.
The galaxy just came in and ran a bunch of people over. It was funny. The question that was asked earlier was, what is your strongest skill set in terms of standard gameplay? Point hold, infantry, 1v1, armor destruction, etc.
I'd say probably
Point hold.
probably point hold. Yeah,
Point holds.
that's kind of what we tried to build our outfit around him, and I'd like to think that we're better at other things like hunting down sunties and stuff. But that's still sort of our bread and butter.
Yeah, we definitely focus on the infantry combat.
I'd say playing the
dropping that
point,
point.
really.
Yeah, we definitely play the objective. And if the objective is unaccomplishable, we'll move on to a fight where we can accomplish something.
And I'm just going to ask, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit just because there's been quite a few people who have asked this question. Mobius Wing quite a while ago had asked it. I'm queuing up your questions, guys. Keep asking them because there's just this huge queue of questions, which is good. That's a good thing. And LCTR have both said, what do you think of Hossin? Do you think that you would change anything? And has it changed anything in the way that you guys play?
I'd say
I
it works
love
really
Hossin.
well with us.
It
Yeah,
works really well with us. It suits infantry
it's a
really
great
well.
continent.
My biggest
Yeah,
gripe- you go ahead, Rodro.
Okay, it's just, it's actually made us kind of, we don't have to worry too much about, like I said before, about enemy air bombing us, because it's quite hard to get the liberators under the trees and into a position where you won't get immediately destroyed by anti-air. So I think it's actually made us kind of less scared of enemy air, if anything. Otherwise, I don't think we've changed our operating procedure all that much with Hossin, because, like I said, like we were saying before, we kind of play the point and drop the point and fly through the trees, over the top of all of the foliage.
Well, I guess then I'd like to know two things. One thing would be, what's your favorite part of Hossin? And then maybe the second part is, like, what's one thing that you would like to see them work on or change?
Woodman Ass Labs is the best base.
Yeah, definitely. Love Woodman Ass Labs.
What do you love about it so much, in particular?
Oh, the fact that we win there a lot, I guess.
I really like the way that it's from both sort of banana shaped sort of or half moon shaped structures in a base. It's sort of unconventional in the way that it's placed the point. So a lot of people have to sort of adapt to a different sort of capturing mechanic because of the unusual positioning of the A point.
I also just think the fights that seem to appear at that base, they always just seem to be some of the best fights on the map.
If I remember correctly, it's kind of a choke point on the lattice.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Like
that's exactly
3 or 4
the
miles.
positioning of the base means that there's always a big and awesome fight there. So I think it's just memorable because of the amount of great fights that we've had at that base.
And then the one thing that you'd want to change, maybe see some progression.
More Hossin?
Personally, for me, I'd probably say less construction sites, but you guys are working on that anyway. But otherwise than that, the variety is really good with Hossin. There's not really much I would change. It suits us really well.
Wow.
I'd like to see, like, no offense to the poor level designers, but some of the bases are very confusing to get around
Okay.
for new players. I don't know, I'd like to see some sort of
Even experienced players.
flow.
Earlier I was like,
Yeah.
man, where is this freaking staircase? I'm like trying to, and it's like, it takes me forever, and these poor people that are watching me are like, oh my gosh, is she ever going to get in the fight? And, I'm just trying to find the staircase because I know it's on one of the sides, and I just, got to walk my way over there.
Subterranean network analysis. Sort of up this lift, through those stairs, in
Yeah.
this doorway, down this up another lift, and now where am I?
All right. Well, we have a lot of questions, so we can move into the next one. I'm actually going to ask another one that's been asked quite a bit. NZ Ned was wondering, do your squads have a specific class makeup? And another person was like, what's your squad comp?
Yeah,
Yes.
So we're very, very.
Yes, we do. It's not specifically, we need 5 medics, 6 heavies, or something like that. But we definitely make sure that we have enough medics to support. We have an engineer for ammunition, an infiltrator for darts, and then obviously your heavy assaults to be your brute force up front. But we always try to make sure that we have a good makeup in our squad.
Boys, that was some of the best play I've ever seen pushing into that building. Well fucking done.
If the galaxy was removed, don't say things like that, Eaten Alive. Don't say things like that.
Okay, we can move forward to that question. That's the most recent question that was asked.
It's a
They
very
said, if
pressing
the
question.
galaxy was removed, and note that these guys, their core tactic is primarily, well, from what you're seeing tonight, redeploy, get in a galaxy, or, at the end of a fight, there's a galaxy that's brought to you, get to the next destination, drop. And that's kind of like their main, tactic. And this person's saying, what vehicle would you reform your tactics around, if any?
Hang on, I can answer this one. If the galaxy was removed, I would just supplement a ghetto galaxy, get a squad leader into a
galaxy.
Reaver with ejection seat.
Ah, there
Fly
you
over the
go.
base, drop out, put a beacon down, get everyone to drop in. Works the same way, it's just not a
Yeah.
galaxy.
I would have
I
said
will-
the same thing.
And
You
just
can
have
see right
people
here, that's
rotate
something
beacons and
they're utilizing too is a lot. They're always putting their squad beacons down. You're seeing that throughout the whole night. Is that especially during these intense fights. Obviously, the enemy is really smart here too. They find them. They try to destroy them as quickly as possible, so they don't always stay up as long as these guys would have liked. But this fight just gets intense, and this Sunderer stays alive forever. The Sunderer that's down by this hill. I'm just like, how are you still alive? Sometimes I don't know if it's this moment, but there's a moment at this
Yeah,
base
look at that.
where there's like 3 tanks shooting at it, and Heavy's trying to come at it, and it stays alive.
yeah, I believe that's Evelyn and
Vanus, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
He's going ham.
Evelyn's worth about
2 of our best
squads.
players.
Yeah,
Evelyn
work
and
that
Vanners are OP.
Sunday.
Yeah, the enemy were
Definitely.
were
Very good at
continually
it.
making lots of rushes at this base. This was a really good fight. I think there was a couple times we came back to this base. I've recorded multiple outfits, but this base always has intense battles. I think the major thing is to note that the A point is not attached to where the spawn room is in that tower, so it provides this crazy dynamic where the enemy can hold the A point fairly easily, but it depends on also what's going on the outside too. Like if
Yeah,
with tanks and aircraft and all of that.
especially if you play the way we do. I mean, we hold the point. We don't usually venture too far off the point.
Mm-hmm.
In a base like this, they have an easy access down to the building, and then it just becomes a shooting galley through those choke points, and eventually the enemy force will amass and try their push, and you might push them back, and then they they get larger and come forward. And I think that's why it's always a great fight, is because it allows that amassing of the enemy force, and then that push and pull between the two forces in this room. It's a great base to fight at. One of my favourites.
You can see it here when they're pushing us up that staircase.
Yeah.
That tower really lets them dominate the space outside of it.
Yeah.
And it sort of creates.
Well, they can easily pull vehicles from that tower and surround the base, and they also depending on what's going on, and depending on who owns the biolab too, that can make a big dynamic change as well.
And I think you see it in here actually. Somebody pulls a lightning and will pull it near the door and try and shoot into this room with their lightning cannon.
Yeah. I think that's the wreckage there that we just saw by the front door.
There it is.
Yeah, they do quite a few runs where they just rush in and they die. I think there's a couple times where you guys get wiped out too, and then you try to come back and fend off and try to hold the point again. But I think this might be one of those.
I'm sure there was a few clutch resonades in there as well.
And let's go back to an older question. David Angel 64 asked this quite a bit ago. Said, because of the redeploy meta, troop logistics in PlanetSide 2 is minimized, in his opinion. Using galaxies is the way this outfit does it. Do they feel more logistics are needed, or is the redeploy meta a long-term thing? And I guess this is more so your opinion on it.
Can I answer this, guys?
You can take your opinion.
Sure.
Considering I will actually be talking to Rel about this in a little bit, it comes as a compromise between the outfits, experienced players, and the newer players. The redeploy meta suits the newer players incredibly well, but it's not a fantastic mechanic because it allows huge outfits to redeploy back to bases to stop them with population.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
It's much for muchness. And we don't like the redeploy side too, explicitly, but it is sort of a thing that needs to happen to a degree. But like I said, that'll be elaborated on later.
But yeah, we will. I mean, even if we have the option to spawn at the base at our destination, we will still pull a galaxy and drop it because, we just find that just the mobility and being able to place ourselves around that base without having to push out of the spawn room gives us the advantage.
I think the biggest advantage is having the high ground. You guys can drop on top of them or on top of areas that other people might not be able to see vantage point wise.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Dropping on roofs and stuff like that and being able to shoot down or on hills, it's a massive advantage. The redeploy side and the redeploy meta, I mean, it's definitely suited for the large outfits who can mass redeploy to a base and push to that spawn room really quickly, just solely based on the amount of pop they can throw into a hex. We can't do that as a small outfit. I mean, we're only an outfit of, I think we're up to 59 members now.
Nice.
So yeah, we kind of avoid that by using the galaxies and just superior positioning and tactics and stuff like that. Yeah.
I'd say the galaxy allows us to skip the kind of foreplay of attacking a base where you kind of drive up with your Sundays and your Sundays and your tanks and you bombard the crap out of it for a bit, and you kind of we skip all of that and just drop straight on the point. It allows us to get our numbers where they need to be effective a lot more easily than if we had to do it the normal way.
We try to avoid getting into those situations where we can get bogged down and let the enemy, chew up our forces by we just bypass all that so that doesn't happen.
Yeah,
if we're going to get bogged down, it better be on a point.
Yeah, exactly.
I will definitely say that dropping on a base and getting into the fight really quickly with to capture the points. And
That's right,
when you're outside and you're in a vehicle, you're not really accomplishing that per se. So
can't cap the point with a tank.
So I guess we kind of take a really kind of minimalist, essential look at how things are because we don't have the ability to afford having some of our limited pop doing supporting roles. They all have to be in the crucial element of the base cap. Which is
and I would say that's also because you guys run a small, tight-knit squad. You don't have, a lot of outfits will dedicate a platoon or a couple squads specifically to that. You guys roll with one or two squads primarily, right?
That's exactly right.
All right.
who did that drop? That was
Yeah, I
terrible.
That was a pretty interesting drop. Also,
Thunderblade.
because I'm playing from the West Coast, so there was a little bit of weirdness going on because I'm on the Briggs server. So a lot of
You're
people were
lagging.
asking me about Tim Tams, and I have never had them in my life before, so I don't know what they're like. But people are asking if they're OP.
You should feel deprived.
Get a biscuit and then ice.
They're like, you should feel deprived. And someone else said that you guys should send me some. So maybe I'll have some in my future. We'll see.
I think we'll work on that.
We'll work
Red
out
font
to get
colour.
that sorted out for you.
get a kind of Kickstarter going. You know, send me some
Kickstarter started.
Tim Tams.
Send me
Go see
some.
creative Tim Tams.
If I'm gonna do that, I might as well just go to Australia and like see everything and eat some while I'm there, right?
That's the better
Crocodile.
option.
That's the crocodile.
Crocodile.
They go good with the crocodile. Okay.
Yeah, but you got to wrestle them moving around, otherwise it's not
I
proper.
actually make a really nice sauce out of the witchy grubs. It goes
Oh goodness.
Jesus.
We have a lot of questions still, so I'm gonna go through some of these and keep asking them. I know we'll be going till about 7:15, 7:20ish, and then we'll be moving into our next segment. Pull is asking here, can his outfit join Friday Night Ops? And if you guys are curious about how you guys can be part of Friday Night Ops, you can go to the Friday Night Ops section on the forums. There's a sticky thread. It gives you all the details on how you can be a part of the show. So just go ahead over there and check that out. I like what's going on at the end here. You guys are all just killing each other. What is this? This grenade killing.
Probably me.
Probably thirsty. Tourist team killer.
It just cracks me up. They're all like waiting, and this is when, I mean, you couldn't kill. They've been having issues with the warp gates. Let's see. Let's move into some questions for you guys. I guess I'll answer this one really quick because I've seen it a lot in chat. When are you going to get a performance update? We did one a while back. If you were having performance issues yesterday or since the recent patch, they patched this morning, Friday. Today is Friday for me, aka that's why we're called Friday Night Ops. And that should have resolved a lot of the issues that you guys were having. So let's move into this question. Death Killit is wondering, what is your guys' favorite class?
Medic.
Heavy.
Max. Heavy.
Medic.
No, heavy and medic.
Look, you're not allowed to even speak of that name.
Heavy and medic
M-A-X
is
name.
us.
Let's all be honest. There's two classes in Planet Side. There's heavy and there's medic. If you're not playing one of those, you're doing it wrong.
Pretty much.
That is true. That's
We-
pretty much what
Occasional
Dylan's
sneaky
about.
dude.
If you look through our TS, everyone's got heavy and medic as a little separate.
Or at least one of them, yeah.
Look, not to make you think that we, don't use the NG or info. We always have an NG or two, or usually
his
an info or
name's,
two in our
Robbo.
squads.
I love light assault. For
If there's
just
something, if
solid
there's
play.
a class that we, when we're in legitimate full ops squads, would like to see people use the most, it'd probably be medic and heavy.
Well, and you guys are running infantry primary squad, so medic is a core piece of that cog to keep you guys rolling.
Yeah, I think it was funny, a while back we were discussing with someone external of the outfit what we do about getting like spawn options and stuff involved, and we're like, what's a spawn option? We don't have, we very rarely, the only thing we really use is the galaxy and the spawn beacon. We don't bother with Sundays, we don't bother with any of that. We roll around with medics and pick up people up and resupply from the NG. His name is Robbo.
We usually ditch our gals. Like, our gals are really disposable. Probably not the best, most efficient use of them, but it's what we do. And so other than dropping in a galaxy, occasionally a galaxy will keep flying around for the respawn mechanic that they now have. We'll also throw it on a beacon or two. But
Oh no, the space.
that's about it.
Yeah, we
Oh,
definitely
no.
rely on our
Don't
medics
look at
to,
that base, please.
we definitely rely on our medics to keep us in the fight.
So, a couple people have been asking this. Kingdom Keoth and Alt Rigo 007 is wondering, what other outfits, or what are your rival outfits, and Alt Rigo said in particular, other than Jugga, who are your favorite outfits to play against?
Well, I think
Alright,
you're going to
cool.
see it here.
Let's not talk about.
The obvious rival is Jugger. But apart from Jugger,
Probably Gab.
I think you're going to see
Definitely
here,
up
Gab.
there.
when they're trying to do their thing instead of just running around and farming people.
yeah, when Gab are doing organised play, I'd say Gab.
Yeah,
We have no rivals.
probably. I wouldn't like to think that we're talking ourselves up, but I'd say that we're. I'd like to think that we're competitive with Jugga and Gab. I mean, there's sometimes that either one of the outfit will outperform us, and vice versa. But I'd say that I'd hope at the very least that we're on their tier and on their level.
And for those of you who were talking about this early on, asking them, do they ever split up their platoons and move or squads and move people around? And they had stated that like normally they are running with like a core group, and they don't. This time they had a lot more squads than they normally do. And this is a core. I mean, this is a great example of them splitting up all their platoons and moving them across the map. And I think as the night progressed, you guys got really more comfortable with the actual number of people that you had with you.
Well,
Don't look at their base. Oh god.
well, when it comes down to it, back on days when we were fighting on Indar all the time, like due to the way that Pops worked on Indar, we just, for one, capturing as many bases as possible wasn't as essential as it is in alerts. So we wouldn't usually split ourselves up. We just stick together and make it through a few big old fights and just take it a little bit easier. But when we go to an alert like we are here, we'll often split up our squads so we can capture as much territory as possible, and then reform when we need to, and then split up again.
Yeah, definitely. This was the start of an alert, so the idea was to grab as much territory as possible before the enemy moved in. And I think you'll see a bit later on, once we start getting resistance and they start hitting us a bit harder, we will conform a little bit and try and take them out with most of our force. It's all about the map and how to play it.
Yeah, I hear you guys giggling in the background. There are TeamSpeak is running in the background if you guys are curious what the other vocal stuff is going on, but they are talking. And then we have Ninja5467 saying, "What is your favorite continent?"
Hossin.
Probably Hossin at the moment, yeah.
I mean, it's the newest one.
Amrish.
I thought we rehearsed Indar, guys. What are you talking about?
Personally, before Hossin came out, I liked Estimate because, we wore white camo and it was the one place where we didn't stick out really brutally. But, yeah, I'd say Hossin. Hossin's pretty sick.
Alright. And Hugbox Hero is wondering, you mentioned how a strength of PlanetSide 2 is catering to different playstyles. So what do you think of the current and coming infantry versus vehicle balances?
Bravo, are you done?
I think
Can vehicles shoot
we're
through
the wrong
walls
people.
after that?
No, we're the wrong people to ask because obviously we'd be quite biased towards infantry.
Hey, but you have your opinion from your perspective as an infantry primary outfit. How do you foresee the balance affecting you guys? I think maybe that's a better way to put the question.
I like some of the tank changes and the splash radius reduction and stuff, because as an infantry player, I mean, getting killed repeatedly by a vehicle that's sitting up on a hill just farming is extremely frustrating, especially when you're trying to play an objective and they're just sitting on a hill just trying to get kills. But I mean, I can see a tanker's perspective as well, that their beloved vehicle is getting nerfed and they're not going to get as many kills, or it's going to be a lot harder to get kills.
Can I interject on you there, Carter?
Of course.
The beauty of PlanetSide is, unlike a lot of other FPS games which cater to a bigger market for like Battlefield and Call of Duty, PlanetSide is very teamwork oriented. This teamwork is such, in another FPS game, it's very easy for a single player to take on an MBT. In PlanetSide, that's very much not the case at all. That's something that's very, I find, unique and contributing to PlanetSide.
Yeah, but going back to the tank changes, I mean, it's tough to say, whether they're going to go, or whether it's going to work effectively, or whether it's the right path to go down until we actually see and experience the changes. It's really tough to have an opinion on it. But yeah, if I get farm less by tanks, it'd be nice.
That's pretty much sums it up, yeah.
Okay. And then we have Amza24 who wants to know, is an organized attack the better than regular chaos is some game modes? I think that they mean, is organized attacks better than just like whenever you're playing and it's just chaos?
Okay. Well, look, I think we'd all agree that organization is pointless. It's useless in Plan Side 2. You just run at the enemy. Then you're done.
If I could answer that one, it's very much a better option in terms of getting to the A point. But if you want to, if it's late at night and you don't really want to play the point, then I would almost say teamwork is actually bad. Because you're killing, taking those points at late night is not conducive to the fun that can be had at late night.
I see what you mean. So basically, whenever you don't have the core population playing, you don't necessarily want to go in there with 30 people, right? You want to go in there like you look at the map and you're like, oh, there's a 1 to 12 amount of people enemy there, right? And there's only 1 to 12 friendlies here. So if we bring our 30 friendlies with us to this 1 to 12 enemy fight, we're going to dominate, and it's not really going to be a fun fight for us. And I think that's a better way to like put what he's trying to explain. So you want to balance the core people that you're playing with. So if you do have 30 people with you, you're looking for fights that are really good for 30 people, or breaking up those 30 people into different groups and saying, hey, A squad or Alpha squad, you go here, Bravo squad, you go there, and that's kind of how you would break it up. Or just rolling like he was saying by yourself or with a small tight-knit crew of people at a late night time is probably a better route. And then during high prime time, you want to be with those big groups of people because there's a lot of people playing.
Yeah,
I think it also comes back to playstyle, preferred playstyle. We choose the organized route because that's the way we enjoy playing the game. But I mean, if you enjoy being in those large, battles of chaos, and your outfit enjoys it, and you like throwing numbers and creating large fights, then that's definitely the route to go down. I mean, that's not the wrong way to play. There's no right and wrong way to play this game. That's again why it's so great. We choose the organized route, and we feel like we're very effective at it, and that we can choose the objective correct for us. Whereas, sometimes in those large organized, or not organized, but large chaos groups, sometimes they have a tendency not to pick the right fights. Like you're saying, that throwing 30 men at a 1 to 12 fight kind of ruins the fight, and it turns into a ghost cap. But no, there's no right or wrong way to play the game. If you enjoy the chaos fights, then, join the big outfits. Yeah, if you enjoy an organized fight, join a an organized outfit with that chooses to play the game that way. It's all play style and preference, and that's what's great about PlanetSide.
Something to talk about is those big zergs. You can actually get them in the right places if you know what you're doing. Where say we will look at the map quite often and see a big fight and alert that's been a stalemate for a long time, and we'll quickly drop in and destroy the Sunderers, allowing that large chaotic fight to move to the next base, which is really nice because that's basically an incredibly hard lattice point to get through. If there's a large fight that people are basically doing their thing and farming away and having fun killing people, we can use that to our advantage quite a lot of the time, which is nice.
Alright, I'm going to wrap things up with the last 4 questions that I have. The first one being from Mobius Wing, asking, first of all, I want to know, did you guys all play the original, or have some of you played the original PlanetSide?
I think very few of us didn't. I think maybe we have 1 or 2 people in the outfit that played PlanetSide 1, so we're all...
So this question might not be useful for you, but the question was, what vehicle from the first PlanetSide would you want to see in the second?
Everyone wants the BFR.
Would have no idea.
Wasn't there some big walking robot?
No, to go into that with a little bit of elaboration with the knowledge I have, obviously everyone wants the BFR, but what role would it fill exactly? Would it be anti-tank, a free kill for air? it all sort of has to work in a little bit. But then again, in saying that, we may very well see ants come back. In the distant future, with the work of Battle Islands and Intercontinental Ladder.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know what ants were, in the original planet side, you would have resources, and every base would go neutral if they didn't have those resources, which were called nanites. And you had nanite silos that were in every base, and every base had a percentage. So you could drain the nanites out of a base by destroying the terminals, and that would slowly drain them. Or taking their nanites by getting an ant up, stealing the nanites from the base, or if your base is drained, you would go to the warp gate, deploy your ant, suck up some of the nanites, and then bring that ant back to that base. And they would use like a lodestar, which was a vehicle that could actually carry other vehicles in it. Or back in the day, in the original planet side, you could actually put a small vehicle into a galaxy, and that was another route that they would take, and they would drop them in next to the NTU and fill it back up. So it was an interesting, like RTS-esque part of PlanetSide, and it'll be interesting to see what they do with the new resource system.
Do you know if they're planning on doing anything along those lines?
I know they've talked about it. Maloran has been on Friday Night Ops, and he's talked about that, but I don't know if that's what their end goal is, because I haven't gotten to talk to them recently about their ant system or their resource system or anything like that.
I would like to see the Lodestar in game. That would be fun.
Yeah, I don't think they have any
Lots of
plans for a
shenanigans would be
Lodestar.
had.
No plans so far for a Lodestar. But hey,
Same
you know,
face.
if you want a flying brick, start telling people on the forums that that's what you want. Let's move into this next question, since that one kind of isn't... Didn't really... It was a dud. Sorry, Mobius. We have Ramza, who wants to know... Oh, never mind. That's not a good question, because we already answered that. I wrote it here twice. Okay. Hugbox Hero, once again. Actually, no, I think I asked all of these already. Well, we got the last one from the Watcher. So, what are your guys' favorite primary and secondary weapons?
Gorsaw.
Gotta go.
Gorsaw.
Gorsaw.
Gorsaw. Just Gorsaw.
Just a Gorsaw. It's a primary and a secondary. I carry two.
Alright.
Commissioner.
There's your answer. That was a very straight answer.
I'm actually loving the NS11P, the free one. Thanks, guys.
Can I kick you from the channel now?
Okay. Well, I guess I can forward to... What do we do at the end? We gotta find the end. I know you guys did something cool at the end. So we'll move forward here.
Dusty went on his rampage again.
I think we just held up at this base, and then at the end we took some screenshots. So maybe we didn't do a huge grand finale. I was thinking that we had done something silly, but I think maybe it was just the screenshot. Well, let people know where they can find you. If they're interested in joining your outfit, where they can go to do that as well.
That is our favorite.
Thirsty guy.
Alright, well, we've got www.levels.com. That'll probably be the first place to check out if you want to, take a look at us or, make an application. We've got some information on our outfit there as well. We've got a couple members with YouTubes like Carter. Carter's got some excellent videos on YouTube. Carter, what's your YouTube?
I believe it's YouTube /
He's like, I was not prepared for this.
Carter, please.
I was not prepared for this. No, hang on. I've got it here somewhere.
But it was repeated for dinner.
acarter012. So youtube.com/acarter012.
Carter's got some good videos on there. It's always good to check out. Am I forgetting anything? I think we've got some YouTubers in our outfit like FPS Hazard. Always good.
Oh,
check out
yes,
some of
yeah.
this stuff.
Yeah, plug all the things. Let people know where they can find all your streams, all your YouTubes, all that stuff. This is a great opportunity for that.
Am I forgetting anything, guys?
I don't think so. The
What is
website.
that platoonly doing?
Check out the website though. Definitely, that's the first place.
This part is
you'll find out.
we're setting up to take screenshots.
On our website, you'll find our Twitter and our outfit trailer and all of the good stuff. So
Yeah, this is you guys were having fun with the photos. And then you get grenaded at the end. Lovely.
Thirsty massacred us all.
Alright, well, thank you guys so much for joining me, and I'm glad we got to show off some of the footage. I'm going to be playing a lot of this, maybe the stuff that you guys didn't get to see in the next section, which is going to be during the panel. So you get to watch some more combat action that these guys ensued in. Lots of fun, especially towards the end. They got in some really good fights. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys taking your time, letting me be a fly on the wall during one of your ops nights, and then also spending your time tonight. I know that we've had to delay your show for a little bit, so I do really, really appreciate it.
Oh, that's fine. It was a lot of fun. Thank you very much for having us on.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Because the best FNO really was worth waiting for. I mean,
please.
You got to follow Justin Wong. Come on, come on. There's got to be something nice in that. So this will be up on YouTube. Be sure to check out all of their stuff. They gave you guys a way to contact them in various different ways, as well as if you want to join their crew. They're looking for some people. And we're going to be moving into our next part with Rel. So stay tuned. It's going to be a discussion panel. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be talking about logistics. We'll be right back. Thank you guys again once more. Really, really appreciate it.
No problem. It's a pleasure.
Thanks
Thank you.
for being.
T-Ray Skull Vikings.
Sony.